a hot kidney, to save my father. In return, I gave me the school land and land in Yanqian. At first, I thought it was my reward for life, but I didn't know. The cold secret of my bloodless body slowly broke me down. Even if you want to run like others do, to deep fatigue that doesn't fill your eyes in the morning, your internal clock stops before anyone else does. Green soccer field, the ball rolling wildly just like before. I burst my heart and chase after the ball, but my chest tightens and my breath fills my jaw. I sit on the grass, watching the ball drift away. Even in front of the small ping pong table, I hoped for a miracle. But as the rally continued, my limbs turned into rocks, and in the end, I got tired before my opponent and bowed my head, drinking the bitter cup of defeat once again. Stopping behind a chasing soccer ball and feeling out of breath, unable to cross the net, and falling down first. Ah, the sad punishment of living on half a kidney. The curse of my life that started grandly but never saw the end. Where has the passionate youth gone? And is only the shell left? Who knew the price of the flesh I gave would be so cold and painful? When the dark night comes, my despair deepens. I try to hold the woman I love and see it to the end. But the desperate flame burns far too short and then goes out. The power that cannot last, the climax that cannot be conveyed, exhausted by loneliness, eventually opens the door and leaves for an affair. My once in a life. Even love remains unfinished. Persistent erectile function that fades quickly without finishing. Unable to deliver orgasm, the woman leaves the loneliness behind. While his son was always failing and falling behind,
Are you excited for school?
quietly and quietly watched over
Wow, look at the parrot!
Beautiful, isn't it?
He saw through the side effects of the youngest son's inability to see things through. And on his way to passing, he gave all his property to the youngest. But after gaining land, he lost his body and had his land seized, leaving him empty-handed. Starting but unable to succeed in everything. The late father's choice recognizing the side effects,
Are you excited for school?
resulting in the loss of all the
Dad.
assets left to the
Wow,
youngest.
look at the parrot!
God,
Beautiful, isn't it?
look upon me. Please return my land. Looking at the school grounds and the land of Yanqian, I sigh again today. Can this land make my heart and blood run again? With the remaining half of my body offered in the name of filial piety, I run with endless regrets today. On a cruelly green day, I gave away half of my body, a hot kidney, to save my father. In return, I gave me the school land and land in Yanqian at first. I thought it was my reward for life, but I didn't know. The cold secret of my bloodless body slowly broke me down. Even if you want to run like others, due to deep fatigue that doesn't fill your eyes in the morning. Your internal clock stops before anyone else does. Green soccer field, but my chest tightens and my breath fills my jaw. I sit on the grass watching the ball drift away. Even in front of the small ping pong table, I hoped for a miracle. But as the rally continued, my limbs turned into rocks, and in the end, I got tired before my opponent and bowed my head, drinking the bitter cup of defeat once again. Stopping behind a chasing soccer ball and feeling out of breath, unable to cross the net and falling down first. The sad punishment of living on half a kidney, the curse of my life that started grandly but never saw the end. Where has the passionate youth gone, and is only the shell left? The price of the flesh I gave would be so cold and painful. When the dark night comes, my despair deepens. I try to hold the woman I love and see it to the end, but the desperate flame burns far too short and then goes out. The power that cannot last, the climax that cannot be conveyed, exhausted by loneliness, eventually opens the door and leaves for an affair. My once in a life, even love remains unfinished. Persistent erectile function, but fades quickly.
Are you excited for school?
Unable
Yes,
to
Dad.
deliver orgasm.
Wow, look at the
The woman
parrot.
leaves
Beautiful, isn't
loneliness
it?
behind. While the sun was always railing and falling behind, my father quietly watched over him. In his eyes were regret, sorrow, and cold calculation. He saw through the side effects of the youngest son's inability to see things through, and on his way to passing, he gave all his property to the youngest. But after gaining land, he lost his body and had his land seized, leaving him empty-handed, starting but unable to succeed in everything. The late father's choice, recognizing the side effects, resulting in the loss of all the assets left to the youngest. 3. God, look upon me. Please return my land. Looking at the school grounds and the land of Yanshin, I sigh again today. Can this land make my hardened blood run again? With the remaining half of my body offered in the name of filial piety, I run with endless regrets today. Darkness. On a cruelly green day, I gave away half of my body, a hot kidney, to save my father. In return, I gave me the school land and land in Yanshan. At first, I thought it was my reward for life, but I didn't know. The cold secret of my bloodless body slowly broke me down. Even if you want to run like others do, to deep fatigue that doesn't fill your eyes in the morning,
Are you excited for
your internal
school?
clock stops
Yes,
before
Dad.
anyone else does.
Wow, look at the parrot.
It's beautiful, isn't
Green
it?
soccer field, the ball rolling wildly just like before. I burst my heart and chase after the ball, but my chest tightens and my breath fills my jaw. I sit on the grass, watching the ball drift away. Even in front of the small ping pong table, I hope for a miracle. But as the rally continued, my limbs turned into rocks, and in the end, I got tired before my opponent and bowed my head, drinking the bitter cup of defeat once again. Stopping behind a
Here you
chasing
go,
soccer ball and
sweetie.
feeling
Yay,
out of
thank
breath,
you. It is so cute.
Unable
the
to
puppy
cross
wants
the
some
net.
too.
and falling down first. Ah, the sad punishment of living on half a kidney. The curse of my life that started grandly but never saw the end. Where has the passionate youth gone? And is only the shell left? Who knew the price of the flesh I gave?
Are you excited
would
for
be
school?
So cold
Yes,
and
Dad.
painful.
Wow, look at the parrot.
It's beautiful, isn't
When the
it?
dark night comes, my despair deepens. I try to hold the woman I love and see it to the end. But the desperate flame burns far too short and then goes out. The power that cannot last, the climax that cannot be conveyed, exhausted by loneliness, eventually opens the door and leaves for an affair. My once in a life. Even love remains unfinished. Persistent erectile function that fades quickly without finishing. Unable to deliver orgasm, the woman leaves in loneliness behind. While his son was always failing and falling behind, my father quietly and quietly watched over him. In his eyes were regret, sorrow, and cold calculation. He saw through the side effects of the youngest son's inability to see things through. And on his way to passing, he gave all his property to the youngest. But after gaining land, he lost his body and had his land seized, leaving him empty-handed. Starting but unable to succeed in everything. The late father's choice recognizing the side effects, resulting in the loss of all the assets left to the youngest. God, look upon me. Please return my land. Looking at the school grounds and the land of Eon, I sigh again today. Can this land make my heart and blood run again? With the remaining half of my body offered in the name of filial piety, I run with endless regrets today.